Okay.
All right. Hi, Robertson.
Yeah, hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. And you?
I'm fine. It's really lovely to have you on our 12th episode.
Oh, it's amazing to be here. So,
Okay. I think I learned a lot. I think we've met a couple of times, but we haven't really spoken to each other. But I really
yeah.
after the ALX event, there are a lot of things that you said that really got me thinking when I got back home. And then I was like, okay, I'm really interested because I want my audience to hear from you because you seem
Mhm.
very open minded and all that. So we want you to bring all that energy here.
I'm going to try.
Okay, great. Um, Robertson, can you tell us about yourself?
Mm. In what context? Just generally or
Generally,
professionally?
what you want us to know about you.
Oh, okay. So, my name is Robertson Nortey. I'm a Gan. Yeah, so
Lovely.
yeah, that's my
Nigeria
name.
people.
And I'm from Osu, right? That's where I'm from. But I grew up in Ungwa, right?
Mm,
Both parents are. So, for me, I'm a pure blooded Gan. So,
okay.
yes. I don't know anything extra about me that I would, off the top of my head, I would put out there, unless professionally.
Okay,
I'm not
that's
that
fine.
interested to say. So,
That's fine. I mean, tell us.
so the professional side.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm a full time game developer. I'm currently the lead game developer at Leti Arts. I've been with the company for, I think, 5 years now
Wow.
and counting. And it's been an amazing journey. I started my journey off as an intern over there and slowly climbed up the ranks, and here I am today.
Mm, that's great. And I think I can relate with that. I mean, starting as an intern and then slowly climbing up the ranks. How has the experience been?
It's been an interesting ride, right? Me starting out, that was at during 2020 thereabout, right? During the COVID, when everyone was indoors trying to hide away from the virus and all that. I, was wondering what I could do during that time just to pass time, right? And it hits me that why don't I, take video games seriously, right? I've always been thinking about, going into game dev. So I was like, I might just try, give it some time and see how it goes. So I spent a very long time learning game dev during the COVID era.
Mm,
And I remember in the early days, it was very stressful because I would spend nights awake trying to understand a very simple concept. A concept that right now, if I'm to look at, I'll be like, did I really spend time learning this thing? Like it's so easy to understand, but
mm,
there I was killing myself to understand certain things,
mhm,
and so I think over the period of I think 3 4 months, I got enough skill, the ability to put what I learned to work, and I built 2 projects out of that's what I learned.
mm.
So then I was thinking to myself, how do I where do I go from here? Because am I just going to be wasting my time doing this? Like, and at the time I didn't know there were game devs out there in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
I just thought to myself that I was the only game developer in Ghana.
Like that's enough
So,
motivation.
so I had convinced myself that I was just going to start something awesome by myself at the time. And the funny thing was, we're surrounded by internet at the time. I could have easily googled to see if that was the case, but I didn't waste my time to do that.
Mm,
I think by the end of 2020, 2020, early 2021. That was when I started, reaching out to organizations. I was googling to see um, game dev organizations in Africa.
Mm.
Yeah, I found Leti Arts online, so I was like, I might as well just send an email to see where that email takes me.
Okay.
And when I sent the email, I got a response from the CEO.
Mm.
The name that came in mail was Aram, right?
Okay.
And you know, the funny thing was, with Ewe people, like they have the same name for male and
Yeah,
female.
so you can't tell whether it's a lady or a man.
I understand. So I was thinking, there's a female over here as a
Yes.
CEO of the
Mm-hmm.
company. So I was like, okay, interested. And we're, talking. Iram was very interested in what I was doing at the time. Iram assigned me. I'm not using pronouns because at the time I was thinking I was dealing with a female.
Okay.
And Iram sent me a test, just to see what I could really do. And yeah, I did well with the tests and all that. And ever since then, it's been history, I think. Yeah, it's an amazing journey.
That's lovely. In your bio, you made mention that your mom has been like of great support, and like I want to know how she contributed and what that has like what that means to you um, in your journey.
Yeah, yeah. So for my mom, I think all this wouldn't be possible without her, right? She has been a major player in my career as it is now,
Okay.
because at the time we were looking at, you know major steps to take as a family,
Okay.
and the backstory for that is too
Yeah.
sad that I wouldn't want to go
Yeah.
into. So we were just looking at how we could, the next steps we could take. And um, I mentioned this game dev thing at the time. So I was doing computer science, right? And I could easily branch into any field that was at the time proven to guarantee cash out, like, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I could easily go into any other space that was guaranteeing cash. And we really needed that cash at the time. But I was like, this is where I'm finding interest in, and I want to really take this serious. I feel like, there's an untapped market, and we can make something huge out of this space. And I needed some money to buy gadgets, right? And at the time, too, it was very tight moving money around the house. But this lady, she took a look at what I wanted to achieve, what I wanted to do at the time, and she gave me what I needed to purchase the gadgets that I wanted.
Okay.
And like, trust me, it was really hard to pull that off.
Yeah.
And the say the returns
Yeah.
wasn't a same thing. So this is you betting everything and just hoping one day it pays off. And yeah, at during that time, yeah, I was doing everything on my own, yeah, and she would do her possible best to support me in any way she could. It was her encouragement that got me to, this level.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I mean, I can relate on the struggles of having to like learn programming by yourself. Um,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, for me, I haven't won that battle yet. Even though I did IT in school, and then my final year project was in Java. Like I didn't finish it
Ooh,
in yeah,
interesting,
but
interesting.
um at some point for me like I just switched to the theory, the business analysis side of everything, and trying to go back to it to like study it again, or to like build that skill. It's been very difficult for me. So I really
Mhm.
admire the fact that you said you were self-taught. Um, what are some of the things that you did? Like maybe some of the steps or the tips you can give some of us. learning programming as by yourself, um, how you can use that to actually put yourself in that space where you want to be as well.
So for me, I wouldn't say it was, straightforward, the self-learning, right?
Yeah.
And my luck too being that I had some CS background. I studied computer science in school,
Yeah.
so I understood, some important basics
Mm.
which were really needed. However, one major, component in me, you know, learning this much was the internet, right, and the resources that are available online, right. Everything that I got to learn was majorly like online, and most of it was on YouTube, right. So the same platform that people go spend a lot of time watching funny videos and what have you, like that's where I got to learn most of what I know today, right. And from there I took some extra courses. um, One important thing was also getting in touch with people who knew more than I did,
Mm.
right? So like for example, mentors, right? Because in as much as you are trying to learn on your own, you are trying to achieve so much on your own. You still need people who can hold your hands when you need someone to hold your hand, right?
Yeah.
So mentors played a very big role in my self-learning, just observing what they do, and learning from their mistakes, directly and indirectly,
Okay.
right? Just observing, also listening to them. All of that, came together to teach me a whole lot.
Okay. Um, this is just like a follow-up question. You know, now we are in a social media space, and then
Hmm.
like there's a temptation to always put like yourself out there. Like every project you're working, you want to put out there. Have you had such um temptations? Um, did you actually go forward with that? And how has that kind of shaped your journey into becoming?
As in using social media to put myself out there.
Yeah, like I mean, you know, some people say, okay, we are learning something. The best thing you you should do is to put your journey, like this your self taught journey there. Some people find encouragement in that. I want to know if you did that, and if not, why? If yes, why? And how that has also shaped your journey.
Yeah, for me, I've tried both, right? That's not putting myself out there, putting myself out there.
Okay.
Not putting myself out there because I don't, I mostly don't like being seen, right? I
Hmm.
like to always be in my own small corner, doing my own thing.
Typical
And
program
putting
boy.
myself, yeah, putting myself out there because, like, it's needed to achieve the grand vision, which is inspiring other people to also pick up that role, want to strive for big opportunities, especially in the field that I am in.
Hmm.
So, what's better way than to let them know that hey, what you intend on doing is actually something that works, and just inspire people. I've Social media is very important, right? And I feel like even for your own personal growth, um, you would want to at least brand yourself in a certain way, right? To probably achieve a thing or two. For example, me being someone who seeks to, um, you know, go into multiple spaces in what I'm doing, that's creative spaces. It's in my best interest to, let people know who I am beforehand, right? I wouldn't want a situation where I have to now go and meet someone and give the person so much exposition of who I am,
Hmm.
right? For example, if you are to meet someone like Cody Sheldon, he wouldn't need to introduce himself much, and then the conversation will be going. I'm not saying I'm looking at being at this level, right? But I mean, in my own small space, that's what I seek to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very important to leverage, what social media provides us as people aspiring to build a career, and just put yourself out there.
Okay. And um you have developed games like Puzzle Squads and Sweep. And what inspired those games? What was the inspiration like for that game?
Mm, for Puzzle Scouts and Sweep,
Yeah.
the stories for the backstories for these two projects are way too long that
I mean,
if I start
flow.
down,
just flow.
oh good.
Yeah.
Right. So for Puzzle Scouts,
Mm-hmm.
how do I start the story? Right. It was all about impact, right? With what I'm doing, what I've learned, how best do you easily leave a mark with something,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yeah, I took a very hard look at the market and the space that we are in today, and how most of, so to say, those who have the opportunity to give you the opportunity, so to say, right? I was just looking at the sort of things that would move them.
Okay.
So you can call me an opportunist in that sense, right? So I was just looking for an opportunity to break into the ecosystem with an innovation.
Okay.
And what's better way to do it in a place like Ghana than use the education route, right? If an investor from Ghana or a big person from Ghana hears you doing something that promotes education or educates people in a certain light, you see how excited they get,
Yeah.
right? So I was looking at that, and I was like, how do I play along this idea, right? And also add my own touch to it. And one thing I noticed a lot, with at least the people around me at the time, was they like to play puzzle games a lot.
Okay.
And some of those puzzle games were word games. So I was like, let me just try a word game that educates people, right? And that's how Puzzle Scouts came about. So that's it. If you play the game, you will see what I'm talking about. Then for Sweep, Sweep also follows a similar route of educating people whilst delivering fun. And if you've also had a chance to play the game, you realize how punishing it is, how exciting it can get at times, and the aspects of it educating people. And over the time, like, implementing projects that seek to deliver fun and also entertain, I realized that it's the opportunity that I was seeking that at the time that you would say was, in a sense, it's still selfish, right?
Yeah.
Later, I realized how important that whole thing was, and just put aside that whole logic of seeking opportunities, and rather seeing how to deliver more on that side. Because I came to the realization that if you look at our current markets, and the sort of people that we've grown up to be, the environments that we are in, you realize that many young people don't really know much about their culture, um, things that inspire their upbringing, all of that. They really don't know much about it. You go and ask them about you know international cultures, and they can talk more about international cultures than their own local
And their
cultures.
own, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, this is really not right. And I was like, okay, then this would be a very good way to, position the sort of products that we make as an organization, the sort of products that I would want to engage myself in. So if you've seen the likes of Sweep, how it seeks to promote our cultures, things like our local symbols, the sort of fabrics that we make locally, all of that. Yeah, so that is basically the inspiration and what we are trying to achieve now, with our next projects and all that.
That's I saw I think the very first time I saw the whole art thing around. I think that was last year, CF. And then I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that's nice. Like I saw the artwork. I've visited your company quite a number of times, and then I kind of
Yeah.
picked in some. I haven't downloaded a game yet,
What?
but
Oh, you should totally do that. You should totally do that.
yeah, I think I'll do that right after. I haven't, but I've seen some excerpts of it. Like I think I even follow you guys on Instagram, so I see like the advertisements and all that. And
That's
I,
also necessary.
yes, I saw that, and then I mean, the first thing that came into my mind was, "Oh, I like what's going on here."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because it was very different from what we've seen, and I feel like Leti Arts is the only Ghanaian gaming company I know. I don't know if there are, yes, I don't know if there are other ones, but I see you guys out there more, and I think I love the job you guys are doing. You should keep it up.
Yeah. I mean, some of the team members are here anyway, so I'll give them shout outs.
Oh,
We have the likes of Abigail, who is our UI UX person.
oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's also a developer,
Yes.
and Joseph is also a developer who used to be with us. So yeah,
Oh,
all these people are inspirations in the industry anyway.
yeah,
So
you guys are doing like a great job, especially Abigail. I mean, what you put out there is what is attracting us to see what Robertson and Joseph have done.
yeah.
Um, Robertson, you mentioned creativity, and
Mm-hmm.
I know like you are big on the creative space. Um, like how do you balance that with tech? I mean, people are of the notion that people don't even know that as tech people we are in the creative space. They see us
Mm-hmm.
as very straight, um, giggy, nerdy, but it takes a lot of creativity to be able to see the products that tech people build. How have you
Mm-hmm.
nurtured that creativity, and what do you plan to do? What impacts do you want to um, give society with in the creative space? Yes.
Yeah. So I think your question is really deep. I'm looking at how best to swallow it, and then the yeah. So for the space that we are in, right? I think it's fine that people see us as nerds and what have you. I mean, everyone would see you however they want to see you. There's nothing you can do about it, right? The, the only thing you can do is to just keep doing what you are doing, what you think is best for yourself and the world around you. As for the sort of impacts that I seek to leave, you know, hmm, for me, I have big ambitions. That's the honest
That's
truth.
good.
One day I was just sitting looking at that's 100 cedi notes, and was it 100 cedis or 50 cedis? One of the notes, right? And I saw the pictures of those who had put Ghana where it is now, our founders and all that. And I was asking myself, these people are dead and gone, but they'll never be forgotten,
Exactly.
right? How do I position myself like this? How do I get myself printed on money? I mean, money is too ambitious, but how do I get myself to a point where um, I don't fade into obscurity? And obviously, you can't get on that level if you don't leave a very big impact on the world around you, right? On the world. So for me, I was a visual art student in high school,
Okay.
right? Later transitioned to computer science.
Okay.
And in high school, you get to see how visual art students are not really given the sort of attention that they
Exactly.
deserve, and they are treated like outcasts in high school and like the non-serious people.
Mm.
And that sort of treatment kills vision, it kills creativity. Like trust, when I was in high school, I mean, I was doing picture making, I could draw a lot. I could really draw,
Mm.
right? But I was I didn't know that I could actually make a career out of that,
Wow.
right? Because of the exposure that we're limited to. So it was like you take this path, you either end up in a kiosk somewhere and start painting on the streets. And I'm like, hey, we spooky career this. Like I can't be in a space like this. So it was later when I got to university, you know, that I got exposed to the broader industry that we are in, seeing how people in the same creative space, artists are, you know, making it, they are going big places. And I'm like, what? Like all of this is happening and, you know, we don't really know. Obviously, those in the biz, they know of all of
Of
that.
course,
But
of
I
course.
mean, I was raised in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't get to really, know what's going on. So I seek to change the narrative, you know, around the visual space, as you know, with those in the creative space. Look at how I also bring eyes to the country Ghana, right? With the sort of products, how we tell our stories, because we have a lot of stories at our disposal, and I want to change the narrative around our stories, around our culture, and make people find our culture more interesting, and just inspire people, right? Let them know that whatever you are doing, especially in the creative space, you can actually make a very good living, be very comfortable, and help push, our vision as a country, forward. So it's a bit ambitious, a bit all over the place, but it's specific at the same time.
Um, I really love the fact that you made mention of the whole visual arts uh, thing, because for me, I was in back in high school. I did general arts, and then I
Yeah,
did an elective, the elective ICT. I think my bad was like the pioneering, and I used to be in, like, they used to pair us with a visual arts student because they were also doing it. For me, yes, I used to have like that prejudice that they have of them.
yeah,
But until I like sat in the class with them, like from Form 1 to Form 3, I just realized that they were just different people, and their mindsets were like very different. And I was like, why would we just stereotype people because of ignorance?
exactly.
It's like the stereotype was great. And funny enough, you see these girls and they are doing like exploits. My best friend did visual arts and she
Yeah,
did IT in Gempa. Like, there's certain things we do, I'm just amazed because she is like a very practical person. She's not like
yeah.
some of us that we like reading. She likes hands-on stuff.
That doesn't work in the visual art space.
Exactly. So honestly, I think we should talk more on how we can create more exposure on this, how we can change that narrative. I'm really, really interested in that. So I think after we'll have a conversation on that.
That's that,
Yes.
definitely.
So now I'm going to ask you my last question, and it's a very personal question.
Man,
I
you
just
want to
like the look on
expose
your
me?
face. Okay. Um, you've come a long way. 5 years,
Yeah,
like, it's not small. Um,
it's not small.
yes, it's not at all.
That's what.
And looking at the fact that um, you studied programming by yourself, and you made mention of the story of your mom when she had to make certain sacrifices, and then now now at this point, like, because of the sacrifices that have been done, you can't let her down
No,
at this point.
it's not an option.
Um, can you let us know what kept you going? Like, what are some of the, like, your life's principles? in times where you are in self doubt, times where you felt frustrated, what kept you going, and how did you come out of those spaces? And even if it happens now, what do you do to encourage yourself? You just want to say.
Yeah. This question, I don't know how best to break it down. Like it's
Just
really
break it down from anywhere that
yeah.
you're ready with.
So for me, like you said, you mentioned my mom. For my like someone like my mom is a very huge aspect of my life.
Mhm.
Uh, so to say, like the main chick.
Yeah.
So you have to definitely make sure that you are doing your possible best to give her that sort of life that a main chick would need. You
Mhm.
know, that's aside to being a firstborn, being a firstborn already from birth, you're a lead, right? So you're a leader, and being put in this role to, especially in my company, um, you see a lot of people who aspire to reach a certain level, like for example, say your level, right, or try to be better, right, and like I said, it's also there to let people know that this is something that you can actually do, you can actually make a living out of, and also just inspire people to think outside the box. For things like you feeling discouraged, they are bound to happen, right? You can't find yourself in doing anything, especially pioneering anything, and you wouldn't feel the pressure from everywhere making you feel like what you are doing is not going to work. And for times like that, I think the only person or the only entity that I've looked to is God, right? And being a Christian myself, right? Um, because I mean, what other source of strength can I actually master on my own,
Yeah.
right? At the same time, too, like I said, you also have people that you are trying to mentor, people who look up to you, people you are trying to help them get to a certain point in their life as well. And all this coming together, um, puts a lot of things into perspective, right? That hey, this thing that you're actually doing is much bigger than yourself, right? I always tell my team members that I feel like we are in a first generation, right? And whatever struggles that we find ourselves in, it's not, we are not the ones going to reap the benefits, right? It's our kids and the generation, like,
Yeah, after you guys.
after us that will be benefiting the most. And but we can definitely choose not to put in that work, right? We can choose not to put in that work. But what's going to happen is that if we decide to not put in that work, those coming after us will end up going through the same struggles that we are dealing with,
Mm.
right? I don't look to a future where my kids have to go through the same struggles that I'm going through as an individual, right?
Yeah.
Why not set a foundation, lay the groundworks for people to thrive off? And all of this, sort of puts a whole lot into perspective for me. Living for something that is beyond myself rather than just for myself alone. So that is how I see things as an individual and the sort of encouragements that I live with. And like I said, being a Christian is definitely God number one because most of the ideas that I've gotten, especially for the sort of products that I make or I've made before through prayer, right? So yeah, that is basically everything that you asked in a nutshell. Like I said, your question was too big to break down, so I hope this is an okay enough answer.
Yes, yes, you did. And I'm trying to wrap up for our audience to ask the questions that they have. But I think I've told you this before, over and over
Mm,
and over again. But one thing that you've said that has like resonated with me so much, I think it was just like a very timely word for me. It was focused on becoming, and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
value is gonna come. And I
Yeah,
mean, based on everything that we have discussed today, like has even given me like a breakdown of where you are coming from with that statement of focusing on what um, you are
yeah,
building on, and then the value will come. And for me, I really, really, really hope that that value comes for you, seeing what you are doing, and then being in that space as a pioneer, as a pace setter. And I pray that a lot of value is going to come for you, that you see your name or will see your image on the Ghana city notes one day.
that's too much. But something close to be fine.
I mean, you have big dreams, and so I mean,
Yeah,
there's not having, no one died for dreaming big, right?
yeah,
Okay, our audience, um, anything you've wanted to ask Robertson, Abigail, um, Joseph, Gifty. I'm seeing some other people here.
yeah.
EBM Pingu, Gabriel. Yes, I think the floor is open for questions.
You didn't mention Matilda.
Matilda, she knows when to seize her moments. Matilda, do you have any questions? I didn't hear you.
I'm cooking it. I'm coming.
Okay, yes, because I know she can relate like a lot like with your journey. I mean, for her, everything she knows now is self taught, and she's doing so well. I must say, I'm
Yeah.
very proud of her. Yes.
I think majority of the guys on this call are also just like me, like the
Ah,
likes of people,
yeah.
Joseph, EBM,
Mm,
and Abigail. So,
mm.
but for Abigail, there, she's a very big person. I mean, someone who has worked with the likes of Microsoft. So, you should probably interview her next. Like, she's a very big
Wow.
person.
Yes, I'm very much interested. Please, Robertson, share her contacts.
Yeah, definitely.
Matilda, are you ready?
Yeah, then from Abigail, I also, get you in contact with the likes of Gabriel. Also a
Gabriel.
very, very big person.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's nice. I really look forward to having a conversation with you all.
Yeah.
Matilda, are you ready now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question to you will be, do you have times where I know that you said your mom is your motivation and you don't have uh you don't have another option. It's just going to make her proud, right? But then
Yeah.
are there times where you are working on something but you feel like genuinely this thing is not working
Yeah.
and
It's not given.
you know that it's not working, but you feel like
Yeah. So for me, on that aspect,
and it has been
I think
oh, okay, I think I'm breaking or she's breaking.
no, I think her
Someone is.
network is breaking.
Oh, okay, okay.
Matilda, can you reposition yourself? We missed
But
the
if
key part of
I
the
got
question.
the question right, you were asking if I've found myself in a position where I feel like something that I was working towards wasn't really working, and if I needed to pivot to something different, is that a summary of the question?
yes, please.
So yes, I've definitely done other things, right? For me, game dev isn't the first thing that I seek to do, right? If I'm to give you a backstory of all the things that I've done in the past, my working history, so to say. Like you realize that I'm very versatile, right? But it all boils down to vision, right? Vision, focus, and what you seek to achieve or aspire to achieve, right? Once you set all that, you realize that anything that you do sort of propels you to that grand vision that you set, right? So that's something that I did for myself, right? Maybe ask yourself a simple question like, what do you seek to achieve in the short, medium, and long term, right? Your long term could be, say, 10 years, your short term could be 5 years, your medium term could be five, and then short would be, say, 2 or 1, right? What do you seek to achieve during these periods in time? And seeing just structure, right? Just lay down a foundation, lay down a plan, and just be determined, right? That's also another thing because, like you just said, there are moments in time where you feel like this thing that you are doing, it's not really working. For example, me doing game development, right? Like, say the first 2 years of doing it, it wasn't really paying or anything of that sort, right? So maybe if someone else was in my position, you ask yourself that, like, why pursue something like this that doesn't look like it's sustainable, right? And that's what you find many at times. Like there are other people in the same space that I'm in, right? I mean, I can show you a whole community that we are over 200 in. All these people have the same experience as I do, the game dev space, but they've all given up or ventured into other aspects. Like, why are they in that space, and why am I still pursuing this thing that other people tell you that it doesn't really work? It's all determination. Because once you set a vision to yourself, a vision for yourself, only you get to decide or dictate how that vision goes for you, right? No one else can. And definitely when you set that, um, say, plan, like I said, you have to be determined and stick to it. That's the only thing that will separate you from those who tried and didn't get to where you are or where you get to. So, and but trust me, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, especially if you are, like I said, you are pioneering anything. It's going to be hard. It's going to be discouraging a lot of times, and you'll be extremely convinced to stop a lot of times. But trust me, if you just keep your eye on the prize, it will definitely pay off one way or the other. I think Selassie was just speaking about something I said um, the last time we had a meeting, that um, focus on being rather than having, right? And with who you are, you will have, right? Many people at times focus on having a lot of things rather than becoming something, right? So you ask yourself, what do you want to become? What do you want to be? And once you become something, you would have any and everything that comes with it, right? Another thing too you can also think about is like something like money. Money is the placeholder for value, right? So you ask yourself that, why is it that, say, someone like Elon Musk or whoever will go somewhere and they gives them something like a Rolls Royce, but you would have to go and pay huge amounts of money for it? I mean, shouldn't you also be using money to buy it the same way as we are doing? Because he is value. Like the person giving him that thing sees the value that you seek to achieve. So that's what I have to say to your very important question. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Namesake, do you have a question? Abigail, do you have a question?
Oh, it will come in later. I want the others to ask first.
Okay.
Yes,
Give
please.
me some.
It's nice meeting my namesake too.
Yes, it's lovely meeting you too.
Same here.
The same name. Interesting.
Yes.
I mean, anyway, Sankasana, you don't have a large pool of names. That's why male and female share the same names. It's normal.
Hey.
Normal. It's very normal. People have limited names.
You think so?
Yes, I know so. I mean, there's very evidence right now.
You, I'm not going into this conversation. Yeah, the right time I get you. Gifty, any question for us? Abigail, I think this is the best time to ask your question. Um, since no one else has a question.
Okay, so my question, I did join late, so maybe he's already answered that. But I would like to know how he usually handles pressure. That's having to work on multiple things at once.
Mm,
How do you usually handle the pressure that comes from that?
okay.
Okay. I think that's a very important question. Me personally, it's all about prioritization, right? So, how do I prioritize tasks, right? And um, like I said, in a situation like this, you are the one who gets to define, your priorities. So, for example, I have say 4 tasks on my plate, and they all seem like I need to achieve all of them at the same time, right? It's either I set priorities for how I'm going to, you know, complete these tasks on my plate, or if some look very impossible to achieve, with a very tight deadline too, I look at how I can take that off my plate by probably delegating it or just not working on it like at all, right? Sometimes it may hits you in a way that you don't expect because maybe that specific thing that you need to take off your plate is very important to you, right? But you look at the situation and based on your priorities, looking at how you can handle what is at stake, and then you make the necessary adjustments to the things that you also have to do. Another thing is also internally, you personally looking at how you block out noise, right? Because noise will just be coming in, especially for someone young trying to build a life, trying to build anything for yourself. You'll get a lot of noise from, say, maybe your employers, people around you. Do this, do that, a whole lot of things for you to do. If you let the noise in and get distracted, you would find yourself very exhausted and all over the place. And what would potentially happen is you end up achieving little to nothing because you are trying to do so much at the same time, right? And you can't definitely can't dedicate a full 100% to all the things that you have to do. So maybe you have 4 things to do, then you dedicate 25%, 25%, 25% on all the four. Then you realize that you can't give everything your 100%, and it ends up denting your reputation because you would now look like someone who doesn't know how to get a very good job done. So you set prioritizations, and the at the top of the priority list is you and your reputation because you are trying to build a brand, right? So if you look at something, sometimes this may look very good, but if I don't complete it, it's going to dent my reputation. So I must not even like worry myself with trying to tackle it to begin with, although the offer may look good. You understand? So just understand that with whatever that you have to do, you have to dedicate 100% of your time and effort to it. If you find yourself not being able to do that, or you analyze the situation, you realize you can't give 100% to something, don't touch it to begin with, and also learn to block out noise. Right? Um, that's I hope is the answer to your question.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much for that. It's an inspiring one.
Yeah. also at a stage in my life where I'm trying to block out noise.
Yeah.
I think we even
You
having
have,
this conversation yesterday.
yeah, you have to. Very necessary. Or
But
you get distracted.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And hmm, it's it's not easy. But what is helping us? After saying yes to a lot of things, and then now coming back to say no to them, and it's quite difficult. But I think it needs to be done. I mean, at
Yeah.
some point you burn some
It's
of the bridges, but um, I think with time, those bridges will be built back again. So
definitely.
yes, um, trying to move away from certain things. It comes with a lot of things. But I pray for grace. Yeah, I pray for grace for everyone that's going through that phase. Yes, and I think one thing I've also learned is that now I'm really learning to say no. Yes,
That's necessary.
yes, I'm
Very
learning to
necessary.
say no. I don't want to say yes and now have to come and bend bridges and try and rebuild those bridges again. No is no, and then yes, if that opportunity is for me, it will definitely find me again in future. Robertson, I have one last question for you as we are wrapping up. Um, what's what's that one thing that you would tell your younger self? Um, yeah,
Hmm.
you were not
Okay.
expecting it, eh?
This one, okay, okay.
If it's a whole paragraph or a whole essay you have to write for me, I don't mind.
Oh, it's actually quite simple. Actually, thinking about it, right? I think for my younger self, all that I've told him now was for him to keep his eye on the prize, right? And I think in my early days, the distractions were a lot,
Yeah.
right? The distractions were a lot. I think if I was more focused, I would have probably, made a lot of leaps
Mm,
than I am now. But I mean, everything serves a purpose. So yeah, now that I'm away, I'm just going to keep my eye on the prize.
yeah. So you've encouraged yourself to.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you so much, Robertson. Thank you,
thank you.
everyone, for joining. Um, this is Noteworthy Days. It's like a production company where we produce articles, we have a blog, we have um, we do these monthly webinars with other guests. Robertson is one of them. We've had 11 other guests. We started this last year. Yes, so okay, that's fine. So we'll share the links in the chats. Sorry, I'm trying to get the. Okay, so we'll share our websites. Our website has all the links to our other social media handles in our YouTube channel as well. And then you would also have access to our blogs as well. Yes. So that's us. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Snapchat. You can find us on TikTok. Yes. So that's the mandate. Um, I've been reaching out to some people. I've already said it. I'm not saying it again. To Robertson, please do us the honest. We'll be glad. Yes, of saying the
That
honest.
is closing the entire meeting. How am I supposed to do that? I
No,
don't.
I mean, reaching out to Abigail and then
Oh, and Gabriel.
yes,
Oh, yeah, sure, sure.
with their
Definitely.
permission.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's lovely. Um, it was lovely having you, Robertson. I really learned a lot. I look forward to another conversation because I know we are not done.
Yeah, when it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. Um, any final comments before we hop off from anyone?
Thank you very much. This was very insightful and encouraging. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you, Robertson. Thank you, everybody.
Mm. Oh, and I forgot to introduce Matilda. Matilda is part of the Noteworthy Days team. She handles our social media channels and some of our designs as well. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. She did a flyer for my thing.
No, I was the one who did that one,
No,
but we have
we
like
did
a
have
template.
a
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
You guys are doing amazing work.
yeah. Thank you. Okay, so bye everyone.
Bye.
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 bye.